Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
I think we can get started. Click on Create a Connection here. Oh, why it's taking? Here, do not use the template. But actually, there are no templates are available. Just you can click on Do not use the template. Click on Next. Now choose the Browser SSO profiles. Browser SSO profiles will be the SAML 2.2 actually. Now in that drop down itself, SAML 1.0, 1.1. It's already there, but it is there in the pink panel. But normally we would use that. Click on Next. Here if you could see the metadata as a none, and as I already mentioned, right? There are three options none. None means we can directly copy paste the metadata as like NTID as is URL as a normally. Or we can also upload the direct metadata as a file, or we can also directly upload the URL actually. But first of all, we don't have any application, right? We are just testing it actually. We are just creating some kind of a dummy connection. Now click on Choose T-None and click on Next. Here, if you could see right the entity ID, obviously the entity ID. As of now, there is no application, right? Just we can put it test type and SP1 like that. Connection name also the same thing. Even in all the real use cases, it should be same. You can use the same thing. That would be the better option actually. If you are changing the connection name and as well as the entity ID, right? It will be a little bit. For understanding purpose, right? It won't be useful actually. But for example, if you are having a 100 channel connection, right? At the time, if you are changing every connection name, right? It wouldn't be good actually. To manage it. The sum connection, right? It's better to have the same entity ID as well as the connection name also will be the same actually. I will be following the same process. Actually, I won't give the different connection name and then the entity ID. I won't give the different configurations. Actually, I'll be using the same thing. But this entity ID for some other use case, I have seen it's a kind of UR and even the connection name will. It will also accept. Actually, don't worry. Now here, if you are having the base URL base, your limits, for example, the application URL, right? For example, if this URL or if the redirect URL is steps:/facebook.com/login means, then the base URL will be heteps:/facebook.com, right? That is the base URL actually. If you want, you can add it, or if you don't want it, you can also leave it as it is. Actually, we don't. This is not that much mandatory actually. If you want, we can add it, but that's fine. The company name and then the contact number, right? This is not every time it is required. Even though they have it's not a mandatory, we can put it there in the SES URL itself actually. The base URL is not required. Sorry, the company name, it's the same thing. whatever the company name you are creating, right? For example, if your client name Citibank, mix Citibank actually. These are all like just an optional details actually and contact name. The application will have a contact details, right? Some person will be the contact point, right? That contact point, you can put it if you want. The contact number, a contact email address, and then the application name details you can able to give it actually. These are all to manage the application. If you put these details here, right? Tomorrow, if there is any kind of issue with the application, we can able to easily solve it. Actually, that's fine. What is this Vinay virtual server? For example, what is our identity, product entity ID, test type, and IDP if an R rule, right? Some kind of a IDP we have given, right? For example, let's say one application is asking, hey, we need a different entity ID, that the entity ID which is specified it is not working from our side, it is not supported from our side, means if they are saying like that, then you can put this, whatever the entity ID they are requesting, right? IDP entity ID. You can put it here and this entity ID will be acting as a whatever the ID, but overridden. Actually, it will. It is not going to override. It will be acting as a virtual entity ID for this. Only one connection actually. For example, let's say if you put one URL as a, for example, // your pink period host name, you are putting it as a like a entity ID actually. One application asking, hey, we don't support the URL as an entity ID, they are saying, in that case, you cannot go and change the entity ID, right? It won't work basically because it will affect the all other applications in the enrollment connections. But that kind of a case is not that I have placed only one time actually, but those are all like a legacy application. In that case appears means we can able to create a virtual entity ID here, whatever the format they are asking, right? You can specify the format and put the entity ID here this. Whatever the server ID here, it will act as a virtual entity ID for this particular test type and SPFun connection. Actually, only for one entity ID, only for one connection. It won't affect any other applications also. And then whatever the requirement they asked, it is also working actually, right? That's why it's not mandatory. Actually, you will be putting it for every connection. If any one connection they are asking means you can put it actually. Scroll down. Yes, and then the transaction log. There are 4 methods of logging. Details are there. Standard no means no. Logging means nothing will be there. No log will be there for only one application, this application only. Standard means success and standard success and failure. And why success and why failure will be there. Enhanced means more than a success, more than a failure, right? Little bit more details will be there in the enhanced full means. It will be including all the details like why everything inside the single transaction for this particular connection, but what we are not choosing the enhanced or full, right? It will increase our log size, actually the file size, right? I have seen one time actually it went up to nearly per day log. It went up to 2 GB actually per day log. 2B means just imagine 30 days log file. Actually 60 GB. It's not a good way to manage it, right? It will increase our disk space actually. And then the log should be, means it should be precise, short and in a neat format. Should be there, right? It should be in a perfect format. Actually, it should be in a readable format. If you put the enhanced full right, it will be in a non-readable format. There are like lot of unnecessary informations will be. You cannot be able to understand it. Actually, it will also increase your disk space and you cannot be able to understand what is going on in the logs also. But standard means it will be short and precise. Actually, why the authentication is successful? Why it is not failed? Why it is failed? Why? What is the kind of a, what is the kind of a error log we are missing, right? That will be there in the standard, actually everywhere, every organization, even the ping vendor also, right? Will suggest to use the standard. Actually, any one or two application, you can enable the full but not for all the Samuel connection. It is not there in the what actually. It is only there for the Samuel. Click on next. Yes, oh now here. Obviously, configure browser so the Samuel. Every time, it will be done for the browser-based application. Actually, that is why we are calling this as a browser so. Don't get confused with the naming conventions. Actually, here as I already mentioned, right, we need to enable the app initiated so and as well as the SPI initiated so for every Samuel connection. Even though no, don't enable the slow here. As of now, don't enable the single logger. We will enable it. Maybe in the next connection we will do that. Single sign-on we can enable. It will. If you didn't enable the app initiated so, then app initiated so for this connection. It won't work actually, but for every Samuel connection by default. We need to enable it. One for testing purpose, one for the application side. Click on next. The session lifetime minutes before 5, minutes after 5, minutes before 5 and minutes after 5 means it's both of them. It's the same thing actually. For example, let's say like Samuel direct first. Here, if you could see right, the Samuel direct first right. Minutes before 5 minutes, within 5 minutes. Once a Samuel direct was created, it should have to reach to the AP. Actually, I mean generally, this is not that much technical configuration actually. I mean, it's like technically, it's not, this won't work actually. But I mean basically like practically right. I'm saying this won't work actually. Why? Because it's like 5 minutes been for a one kind of a authentication. For one kind of authentication, who will wait for one? 5 minutes, basically right, it's like I mean the default value is 5, actually minutes before. 5 means the SAM. Once a Samuel request is created, it will be. It should have to reach the app within 5 minutes once the Samuel response is generated, right? It should be valid for 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, the ASP needs to validate it. Actually, that is the nasty. That is not as the minutes before 5 minutes after 5 action. Correct? But these are all don't change anything else. Actually, this information. These are all should be the default. Why? Because I mean the 5 minutes, 10 minutes time limit. It's not that much. Practically, it's impossible, right? Who will wait for a 5 to 10 minutes for an authentication, right? That's why if the user is waiting for 5 to 10 minutes, they will get irritated and they will raise lot of issues. Actually, click on next now. Here at configure accession creation. Accession creation is nothing, but it's a Samuel response creation actually. Here, if you could see there are identity mapping. That means like sending the Samuel subject. Is there right? The format of the Samuel subject. Standard means it will send it in a normal text format. Actually, don't know means it will. For example, if you are sending mail address, means it is not going to send the mail address as a text format. It will be send it in a convert the mail address into some kind of a unique name and then send it actually. Transient means it will be assigning some kind of a temporary code value and send it actually. But these are all pseudonym and transient. Therefore, the security purpose. They are changing the value to some kind of a non-readable format actually. But that is not that much required normally. All the application, we will be using only the standard option actually. Now here, if you could see right, the Samuel subject is there right. Samuel subject, as I already mentioned, it is username. It's a username basically now. Here if you could see, right? I want something is nothing. But that is the like a mandatory value actually. Mandatory value means we will be like mandatory attribute. We will be passing it in the Samuel response actually. The next one is like if you want, we can also add certain attributes in the Samuel response, that is the optional attributes actually. Optional attributes means like we can able to send the given name. The like this is a parameter name, actually not the exact attributes. Actually exact attributes we will be doing it in I will be giving it in the next stage actually. What will be the parameter name? We will be sending it. For example, let's say like sorry. Now what we are going to do, we can able to add the parameter name. Actually, what kind of attributes we can pass it here? Maybe we can pass the first name, last name, and then the we can also pass the mail address in the Samuel subject. We can pass first name, last name, and then the id. Actually, can we just add these three attributes? You can add it actually. Sure. No email. I think we are passing it in the Samuel subject, right? We don't need extra attribute. Actually, we can put first name, last name. We can put first name, last name, and did. Now you can give any parameter name. Actually, we should not. We don't need to give the exact email or give a name like that. Actually, you can put any parameter name. Whatever the parameter name requested by the application, right? You can put that one actually. No, wait, we can also add a also fourth attribute. Add it, click on next. Good. Now here, obviously map a new adapter instance. We need to map and adapt, right? Now you can able to understand the flow. Data store has been mapped to the PCD. The PCD has been mapped to the like adapter is mapped to the Samuel connection or auth configuration. This will be the same step for the Samuel and as well as the auth. Also actually this particular mapping adapter, it will be the same step everywhere. It's the same step. Now if you could see, you can able to get all the attributes from the adapter itself. Actually, you don't need to connect to the data store for this Samuel connection actually, right? For example, email, we are already getting it. Give a name, that's already there, yes. And username, everything, you can able to get it from the adapter itself. You don't need to again connect to the data store from the Samuel connection and get the attributes. Click on next. Now here, if you see the third option, use only the adapter values. Actually, if you want to connect to the data store, you can choose the first option. If you want to use the adapter values, you can put the last option. Click on next. When you're connecting to the data, right, whatever the step, if you remember, we did it in the adapter, write the same step. We will be doing it here also. Actually, choose the adapter. Here, there are different options. Are they right? We will. First of all, we will be seeing the adapter. Then the data store held up will be seeing it. Text format means it's like a static format. Text means we can able to send one value. Actually, that value will stay the same for all the users. Actually, for example, company name is equal to like Zoho, like that. It will be same for all the users, right? You can have the text format. No mapping means it will be like a no mapping. It will be as a empty. Nothing will be there. Now expression. We will be seeing it later. Part of the training actually. Choose the adapter. It will be nothing actually. If you choose the context, right, it will just give the, you can click on the context. It will give just the like a whatever the authentication context means. It will be the same username, whatever it is there, and then the whatever it is there in the request, right? These are all not that much required. Actually, it will be taken from the context of the SAML request and the response, right? That will be the value, actually the request. It will have certain details, right? Like a HTTP header, it will have the authentication context, that is your username only, and then the IP address. All details will be available in the authentication context of the SAM request, or like a PingFederate logs, right? That is the one actually. Choose the adapter, but even here we can take it as a context, right? If you want, you can also have it actually, but we won't generally use this one. We will be having only the like SAMO, sort of we are putting the mail, right? Obviously, we cannot get it from this one actually adapter mail. I mean, even I never used that one actually, but we will be normally using directly from the like adapter or the LDAP actually given him. I think you can get it from the adapter. Also, the given name, yes, and this adapter is, and then the adapter read is username actually good. Click on next. Now the issues criteria, right? This one we will see it later. There are like certain prerequisite are there actually. If you remember, we created the groups and alright, we will be doing this later actually. The same thing which you have seen it before, write the expression, these two details. We will be seeing it at the same time. Actually, click on done. Yes, now we have successfully configured the HTML form adapter. Right now, the next one, what we are going to do, we are going to here also you can map multiple adapters also. That is also fine. We will be seeing it actually. First of all, we will test the SAML flow. Next, we will see multi-mapping the multiple adapters, maybe like tomorrow, day after tomorrow. We will see that. Click on next. Now this is a summary, whatever we have created, the sample response creation, right? That is one click on done good. Now we successfully created the SAML association creation. First we gave the entity aid. Next we created what are the attributes. Then we map the attributes by using the adapter. Then what is the next step? We will be doing it. We created the sample response. Obviously next system. What will be? We will be what is the next step? We will be doing it. It's easy. No, that is the AX URL. We will be doing it. Actually, that is the AX URL will be doing it. Click on next. That is a protocol setting. We created the SAML response. We need to post the SAML response to the destination, right? That is what configure protocol settings. Now, here the binding should be every time it's the post binding only. That means we need to post the SAML response to the like some particular endpoint, right? Here you can put any endpoint. Actually, maybe you can put HTTPS Google Coin. You can also add multiple AX URL. We will add multiple AX URL here. Add it again, post maybe heps:/appcom. Like that you can put. And that's all we can click on next. We don't need the 3 to 4, actually, just 2. It's fine to test it actually. Click on next. Here, obviously the SAML binding site will be using everything is post and redirect. You can remove the artifact and redact should be there because the SAM request will get from the redirect, only SAM response will going to the post method. Actually click on next. We can able to see the difference. Actually click on next. Yep, here as I already mentioned the like this is once we complete that response, right? We put the response to the like AX URL. Then what will be the next step actually? We need to sign the response by using the certificate, right? That is the final step actually, right? Always sign accession. Every time we need to sign the SAM response actually here. If no, wait, if you could see there are like another option, right? The third option, sign response. as required. That option means it will include the destination attribute in the response. Actually, what are the X? URL is there, right? It will include the X URL in the response as a destination attribute. Check that box also. We will see that, but nothing much more. It's not like that much technical value actually, but we will see that now the SAM response will also have the X URL of the SPI connection. Exactly. Default, it will be there. If you want to put it there in the like, if you want to put it there in the destination, means it will. Also, we can able to do it actually. Now the next one is the encryption. The encryption means that is the like encrypting the SAM response based on the certificate. Actually, if you want to encrypt the SAM response means we can also encrypt it. But as of now, we don't have the S plus certificate, right? We can put it none option. First of all, we will test the normal one. Actually, that is the like with the plain text format. Next, we will do the encryptor format actually to use this encryption. We need the SPI certificate exactly. That is mandatory actually because the SPI is the one which is requesting for encrypting, right? Not ours. Actually, because we will generate in a normal plain text. For that is itself enough. Actually, we don't need the extra certificate at all. It will have increase our work only. But anyways, click on next. Now we have given this S all. We have given the bindings and alright, and we also gave that option to always sign a session. Then what will be the final step? Actually, only one step is pending. Enable the certificate. Exactly, we need to give the certificate. And click on done now. Click on next now here. If you could see, click on done. This is just a summary page. Whatever we did, the browser saw right. Now, the next and final step will be the credential that is known as the certificate management. Click on next. We have seen as of now 2 certificates, right? One for LDAP certificate. We have seen another one for the SAMO signing and watch signing certificate actually configure credentials. Choose the certificate which you have created. Include the certificate in the signature info also. You can also include it. Actually, it will also include the information of the certificate in the basically in the response. Actually, include the ARAC also. That's fine. These are all just including the details of the certificate in the risk. You cannot be able to read it properly, but we can able to include the content. When we need the second to sign a certificate, for example, if the first certificate is going to expire, right? You can add the new certificate, the renewed new certificate, right? You can put it as a secondary one. I'll send it to the application team whenever the application team they want to update, right? They can update at their own time actually. For example, October 12th, 2024, right? You will be here, but you renewed it at like August 2024, means you can send it to the like application team. Actually, anytime they can able to update. We don't need to simultaneously update the certificate actually. If you add the new certificate in the secondary means anytime, whatever the application team they want, right? They can update the certificate from their side. Actually, it's basically supporting multiple certificates. Click on next. Now we have successfully completed done once you click on done, right? The next one, that is the activation and summary. Click on next. You can able to see all the details. If you could see, right, the endpoint is there, right? This is known as the app initiative. If you could see the endpoint, you can able to see the difference actually. Now you need to save it. Then only it will work actually here. If you scroll down to the bottom, save it. Click on the SPI one here. If you could see, right, the endpoint 8peep/.serve.ping is equal to question1 modern and SPI it is equal to test_SPI1. Actually, you can able to see the difference rate. Whatever the format it is there, this is known as the app initiative. So I just enable the simul tracer. Click on enter. Yes, now try to hit the URL in the same browser itself. I think you are already there in the in counter window. Yep, hit. Now, if you could see, can you go back to the SAML tracer? If you could see right in the left hand side, get method. Actually, it is going on. That is the first one able to see. If you could see right, that's a get method, right? The first one. It's a get method. Obviously, that's a get method. Once we're done, it will go as a post method, I think. But let's see, because we are just doing the app initiative, so we don't know the exact flow will come or not. But when we do it in the yes, finish it, so it will be coming as a perfect method. Actually put, did I think we created one user, right? Did you create any user in the ping directory? Can you create one user here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. You can please remember the password first and all. Let's first copy that ULDA modify command first and then copy this one. Oh, that's weird. Enter now. Can you go back and copy that one and then paste it here? I think the password you remember, right? Oh, Yoda is at 83456. Oh, I should not for 2 times enter Control C terminate the job now. Can you go back and type the username and password at 123456? And then the password is, where is the password here? Oh, this one, it is the password. That is the one, it is the password. Yes, yes, exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can ignore the error actually, but if you go in the top, if you could see right the post method, actually the sample response aspect, the next line, the sample response is the last one, the red color one, right? That is the sample. If you in the bottom, if you could see right the sample response in the top and there are like 4 readings, are there right? Can you copy this and put it there in the notepad please? Paste it. Can you go to the language and XML in the top language, right? Oh, you cannot be able to see that one. XML, the last one now. If you could see, go to the scroll to the top and then if you can able to see the sample response, right? It is 2.0 protocol. The version is 2.0 and then if you could see, right, the destination one, the 8 is there, right? 1.8, some kind of 8 that is known as the referral 8. Actually, for each transaction, it will be different actually, but that is not that much required. But if someone asks for what is the referral 8, right, you can ask that one. You can tell and then the destination, right? If you could see the destination, as I already mentioned, the destination, whatever we have enabled right sign response as required, that is the one action. And then who issued this SAML in the 7th line? The who issued the 7 means the person who issued the 7 test type and at EP. Now and then the signature method signed the information, right? Who signed this particular certificate? Sorry for a particular response, right? This certificate has been used. Actually scroll down. These are all like a certificate information which is available in there in the response. Scroll down. And then if you could see the SAML response, the session is getting started, right? And then the same it will be there. And then if you could see who issued the SAML response actually, and then the same certificate will be there. Scroll down. This is inside the SAML subject. Basically here, if you could see what is the SAML subject, we are sending it. We are sending the mail address, right? It is there in the top right hand side corner. Somebody, that is your mail address, basically. And then if you scroll down, who is the audience actually? Audience means the entity of the SISP, that is your service provider entity, basically. And then if you scroll down a bit, you can able to see the other optional attributes. Actually 8, 8, 12, 34, 56. Then the given name, that is your first name, and then the SIN, that is your last name. Actually, this is how we can able to have the SAML response, or some basically like a SAML accession. Actually, we can also call this as a SAML response, or we can also call this as a SAML accession. Basically understood. But even SAML subject can be it also, right? Any unique value, which one you are asking? The age you might, that is your user id, basically, but even we can have this id in the SAML subject, right? The SAML subject, it may be like a mail address or like a id, actually anyone either. That will be, we cannot take the decision. Application team will do that actually. We will be just simply, we will just simply like whatever the application is asking, we will set it actually. That's all. But if the application they are asking give a name, means we won't do that actually. It's a duplicate that we won't. We won't do it actually give a name or yes and right, because we don't know, right? For example, Sumadi means there will be a lot of people will with the same name, right? Even the writer and everyone right. That's the one actually. Understood. Even Vinay means there will be a lot of people with the same name, right? That is right. That's why we are not using the given name or the last name. That is the yes and actually. When I hear this is the response. This is the IDP one. We are trying right. The authentication happening at the IDP end only, and it is responding as well to the target. Exactly. When we see the response back from the Google or whatever, then how we would trace that one. Which, suppose if we get a response from the URL like Google or whichever we are connecting we get response back from, those Google or something as well, right? No, basically here the IDP will be done by the our side. Only we are using the data store. That is like a ping directory, basically. The authentication, and then the IDP is generating the SAML response and passing it to the application. Basically, they just consume it. We are not concerned about their response or anything. No, we are just creating the response and share it to the application. The application needs to validate it by using the certificate and as well as the SAML subject value. But can we not able to test the SP initial flow, Vinay? Sorry, we will also see that. That we will be doing it. Don't worry. We are just creating it right. We'll be testing the SP initial results. Also, we will be testing the single sign on and as well as a single logger. First of all, we test just a simple testing how to create a SAML connection, right? Like elaborate manner, we just did it actually. Then, once we did it right, we can automate. You can also automatically create a CML connection. First connection, I think it took nearly 45 minutes to create it right. The next connection, we will see how much time it will take it. Actually, the next connection, once you create like 4 to 5, like 7 to 8 CML connection, means then the ninth connection, It will take only 2 minutes to create it actually, that kind of app. It's the same step. You will be doing it for every SAML connection. You just want to differentiate the attributes. That's all, actually. And then the entity ID and then the AC's URL. You cannot have the same entity ID for each and every SAML connection. Actually, it should be different. If you go back to the, if you remember, we given two AC's URL, right? One we tested, then how come we can able to redirect to the next AC's URL? Actually, can you go back to the SAML connection one? Here, just copy the URL here. Just code. Don't open another tab here itself. Paste it. Don't put enter ampersand here. If they are using the application is using the IDP initiated SO, and then if they want to have multiple kind of AC's URL, right? Ampersand, you know, right? Ampersand means and symbol. A, C, S in uppercase letter, I in uppercase letter, IDX. I should be in uppercase. Dx is in lowercase only is equal to 1. I think the index value you put it there as a 1, right? For the second URL, actually based on the ACS index value, we can able to differentiate the ACS URL now. Press enter. Now if you could see automatically the response. No, you can leave this one because there is. No, I don't know the ABC URL is there or not actually, but now you can able to see the response, right? Now you can also see the destination also will get changed actually because the AC's URL is different actually. If you didn't give that ACS index, means it will read out the default value, that is your HTTPS. Google Coin actually the next one, that is Donacy Epsicom. That's a different value actually. That is a second. I mean, yes, is equal to 1. Actually, yes, this index is equal to 1. This is only applicable for the ARP initiated so, guys. Yes, initiated so means they need to put it in the SAML request. Actually, in SAML request, they need to put it as a ACES URL in the request itself. Can you open another tab in Chrome browser? I will show you one example now. Just type SAML request and response example. Actually, scroll down, let's go on. Click on that response example. Here on the left hand side, right, just scroll down. There is an auth and request system, right? Can you click on the auth and request? Here, if you could see, this is Donacy SAML request. This is the SAML request looks like. If you could see, there is a issue, right? Who created the SAML request? Actually, that is your initiated so. Can you go scroll to the right hand side corner? If you could see, right, the destination is nothing. But I think the decision is fine. But if you could see X, or is there right in the left hand side? Can you scroll the little bit left hand side? You can able to see the destination, right? That is your so all 8/SOSUM2. The destination will be there. The says all that is your. Whatever the application wants to redirect, right? That's all will be there. We can configure multiple says all. But whatever the application wants to redirect, right? They need to put it in the request. Actually, if they didn't put it in the request, then it will redirect only to the default one, actually. If the application is having multiple says all, means they need to put it in the request. Actually, which says all should have to redirect. They cannot put multiple says all. It won't work actually. Only whatever the acts all they want to put it, they need to use it in the SAML request. Actually, and then the destination should be the SOSUM2. That is our ipso all. Actually, then if this acts all, they have multiple departments. Where are we supposed to put it in the request? I mean, we are not going to put it in the request. Actually, they will be putting it in the SAM request. Actually, any one null only they can able to put it in a single SAM request. They cannot put multiple AXLs inside the same SAM request. Actually, they cannot. You put it different. Only one AXL can be put it in a single SAM request. Actually, every time they create, if at all, they have 3 AXL limits. They have to create 3 SAML requests individually. It's not, for a single authentication, right? They cannot redirect to multiple times actually. When, for example, if the user is like admin, right, they are trying to access the admin means, then the AXL will be different for the administrator. Similarly, the user, if they click on login for normal users, means the AXL will be different, right? Based on that, they will differentiate the SAML request actually. No, I didn't get it properly. See, if you are having 3 AXLs right at the same time, they cannot redirect to 3 URLs. Actually, only one URL they can able to redirect right whenever they want to read whatever the URL they want to redirect the user, right? That URL, they can able to specify it in the request. Only one request should be there actually for a single user authentication. But in our configuration, like which one now? Let me have to specify as a prior. You need to specify no. No, it's not like a priority or nothing. You can put anything. You can put the. That is not our work actually. Whatever they want, you can put it. You can also put it as a first one, or you can also put it as a second one. That is not like that actually. You can see they want multiple AX. URL means you need to put the 2 AX URLs in their side actually. Others, they will take care. Whatever the priority one, that they will take care of it actually. Like we have given right under the Browser SSO. But we just added a 2 URL, right? One is Google, another is the AppC. Similarly, yes, they have a 3 AX URL. We have to add 3 AX all over again. Yes, you can put all the 3 actually, but it is their job to request which one they wanted to be authenticated. Exactly. We cannot be able to redirect, right, which basically they have their application. Only you are redirecting to the application, basically not the PingFederate. Here we're supposed to add all the 3. Got it? Yes, exactly. Yes, it's always mandated. They need to put it in the response. For example, if you know, right, the service, no application in service, no application. If you have the access inside the service, now you will be redirecting to your content page. Actually, if you don't have the service, no access, right? You'll be redirecting to the dashboard. Actually, self-service portal, there are 2 ACKs. All will be there. Actually, based on the SAM request, they will send it, basically understood. We will see one more. A small one actually. Can you go back to the PingFederate? Here, if multiple SAML connection, right, for example, let's say you create 100 to SAML connection. Actually, you already created 100 connections are there. One application is asking and, hey, PingFed team, I need the email address in the sound subject, first name, last name, and aid in the SAM response. Actually, they are asking the same attributes, which is already a lot of applications will be there, right? If they are asking the same attributes, which the existing connections is already there, means you don't need to do it. The same step again, right? From the start to the bottom, you don't need to do it again. Actually, can you go back to the applications? Here, one application is asking the same attributes, but only the entity aid and then the ACKs, always getting different, right? But other stuffs are same. They're asking the SAML subject email address should be there in the sounds subject, the other attributes like first name, last name, and then the like a read. They are asking all the same thing We know the existing connection is already using that, right? We know the certificate may be different, right? 8% will stay the same actually. We are using sorry to interrupt, like we have just added the certificate for assigning the SAML response. But where are we validating the SAML request certificate? It's the same thing. Actually, we didn't enable it. If you click on the test type in SP1, can you go to the browser SSO? In the can you click on the configure browser? Can you go to the bottom protocol settings? Here, require digitally signed auth and request write. If you could see, that is, for example, signed auth and request write. We didn't check that option. Actually, if you enable that option, then you need the application needs to sign the SAM request as a mandatory actually. Then we should have the public key here. In many no, you need to enable date and you need to put it under the credentials. Actually got it. For single logout automatically in the credentials, you need to put the certificate. Actually, this option is not required for the single logout. Similarly, for the encryption, if you enable it, you need to put the certificate under the SIG, the credentials only right. That now here it's asking. They are asking the same attributes, but with this different entity aid. And then the yes is your right. We can able to change it right in the right hand side corner. You can able to create a copy. Actually select action copy. If you could see right, you can able to create a copy of the existing connection. Just you need to change the entity connection name and then the Excel test type and P2. Yes, P2 and then click on done next. Sorry, click on next, don't save it. We need to change the ACES right browser SSO and then the protocol settings change the ACES URL. That's all actually here. You can choose the ACES all. Just give, I can put you to become like that. Update and then save it. That's all actually. Now, if you save it, it's the same connection, same attributes, but in a different entity aid and then the ACES URL. Actually, that's all. This is much easier, right? How much time it took? Actually 30 seconds. Less than a minute. That's all actually this kind of a shortcut also. It's there actually by here also you can change the attribute also. You can create a copy, change the entity aid and change the parameters and change the attribute also. You can able to do. But right now don't do it actually. Once you once you practice lot of connections here, right? Then you can do that actually. But when we duplicating it, if at all, we have the encryption certificate configured and also we have the SPI certificate configured, we still able to edit, right? You can also edit it. It's not like copy means it's not like you are. I mean, the same configuration will be there, but you are not going to. You can able to edit it. Actually, that's not. If the existing connection is having the encryption certificate, you can all. If this new connection you don't want, which you can also remove it. Actually, that is totally fine. Understood. Now we created another connection, right? Maybe in your free time, right? Maybe you can put test type in SP3, test type in test P3. You can create it. Maybe you can put mobile number. And then we are also having the state and alright, maybe country. You can add a mobile country and it in the SAM subject. Actually 3 attributes. Yes is your only. You can put any attribute you want. Actually, you can try to number of users and then we will try. Sorry, no, we will create number of users and then we'll try to authenticate it. You can also create a lot of attributes, accessory, a lot of users and then try to have it actually. That's not at all a problem. Just try to like I mean, just try to create another connection and test a different set of attributes. Actually, and finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.